Flashback.
For the accused, and wrote an email to Miss Love, to Adrian Love, stating that Mr. Melnick does not represent the witness, and that Mr. Melnick wrote an email saying F you, and then somehow that email was CC'd. To me, that never...
Mr. Steele, can I interrupt you just a second? I'm kind of disturbed because that's ex parte. All that was an ex parte conversation. How did you find out about any of that?
Well, I'm disturbed too, and the reason
I'm asking you a question. How did you find out about it?
I'm going to ask you the question. Mr. Copeland said...
And you haven't answered my question yet.
I'm not going to answer that question.
You're not?
No, I will not answer that question.
Why will you not answer that question?
Because I want to make sure that what I say is accurate, and I'm not trying to...
No. I'm asking you, how did you get this information?
I'm not telling the court. What I'm saying is based upon information...
Okay, well, listen, if you don't tell me how you got this information, then you and I are going to have some problems.
We can have... I have problems right now.
Okay, I know. Look, I don't... So, you'll have a choice to make. All right. Take Mr. Steele into custody, please.
Later.
In the YSL trial, the judge in the case has now been recused.
Atlanta News First anchor and attorney Joy Lim-Nakrin has been reviewing this order that just came out. Joy, what's it saying?
Well, Tori and Alan, just moments ago, Fulton County Superior Court Judge Rachel Krause ordered the judge overseeing the YSL trial to recuse himself, and it comes after the defense team for Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug, filed a motion to have Judge Ural Glanville removed. Defense attorneys pointed to a June 10th meeting that the judge had with the prosecution as well as a key witness without the defense present.
What's going on, guys? I know there's a lot going on with the RNC convention today, but I'm taking a quick reprieve from that to do some coverage on a major case for us local folks, especially here out in Georgia, where the YSL trial effectively has had Judge Ural Glanville removed. Okay, this corrupt judge basically had this ex parte meeting with the prosecution to basically coerce a witness into testifying, something that technically they could try to do if they had the defense present to see exactly what's happening, to kind of have it be balanced out. But to have the judge have a meeting like this only with the prosecution is a big no-no, because it expresses clear and blatant bias. That'll be the same story if the judge had an ex parte meeting exclusively with the defense. That would express a bias toward the defense. So he has been removed after there was a motion to recuse him. Now, in terms of what that means for the case, that's a whole nother story, because that doesn't mean that the case does not proceed forward. So I'm going to go ahead and react to a video where they'll discuss more details on that. Let's get into it.
Welcome back to Law and Crime. This just in for Young Thug racketeering case. We have got a decision by a judge outside of that of Judge Glanville that he is now recused. I have literally just gone over the motion now, and I'm going to go over it with you myself bit by bit. Starting first with the finding of facts. We all know what the facts were. There was an ex parte, meaning one of the parties, that being all of the defense attorneys, were not present for this meeting with Kenneth Copeland. Judge Glanville, along with the prosecution and Kenneth Copeland's attorney, had this in-chambers meeting talking about him pleading the fifth for about let's say 4 pages. So about four or so pages, just the facts as we remember them. This meeting happened. Glanville went back and forth deciding, is this person going to testify? You cannot plead the fifth. The prosecution, as we saw the transcripts that were later released, kept pressing, you've got immunity. You cannot be prosecuted for this in any way, shape, or form, and that means you have to testify. Ultimately, that meeting was not expressed in detail to the defense until Brian Steele, the defense attorney for Young Thug, raised this issue. Following that, multiple defense attorneys filed motions for recusal. Now, moving on from the facts, going to the law. The legal framework for what a recusal.
So it wasn't just that, it was also that these idiots literally tried to put the defense attorney in jail, okay, because he refused to say how he got the information. So there was a lot of issues here, and this case was destined to be, not only was this judge removed, but in my opinion, it's destined for, if there is a guilty verdict, for it to be overturned anyway. It's dead in the water, because when you have incompetent people trying desperately to get a conviction, this is the result.
Recusal requires. There are 3 criterias that needs to happen. Those being, the motion needs to be timely, needs to be supported by an affidavit, and the facts alleged need to show that a recusal might be warranted. Now, to the first 2 parts, Judge Glanville himself said that this is timely. When the defense found an issue, they brought it up. The second part, he said that there's an affidavit that was filed. Good. But the reason why Judge Glanville himself said that he's denying the recusal is because he argued that the facts alleged did not warrant a recusal, that they did not meet that threshold. However, he ultimately passed this case on to another judge, and this is the judge's analysis and discussion. It's just a quick, I wouldn't even call it 2 pages. I'd call it a page and a half, if that. And the judge does start off by saying, as previously announced on the record, this motion was timely and supported by an affidavit. Already got that. But moving on to the next part, the court kind of pauses and says, you know what, it's worth noting, and I'm just quoting here, that this court agrees generally with Judge Glanville's assessment of the proprietary of the meeting, that ex parte meeting, saying, okay, that's okay to happen. While the meeting could have and perhaps should have taken place in open court, kind of giving that option there, nothing about the fact of this meeting or substance discussed was inherently improper. However, and this is the big however, in his order denying defendant Kendrick's motion and in the process of making a record on July 1st, Judge Glanville added facts, provided context, questioned the veracity of the allegations, and otherwise explained his decisions and actions and argued why those actions were proper. Just going to keep going through here. While, and I'm quoting here, may be appropriate for judges to disclose information relevant to his potential recusal, such a disclosure must be made in a way that is objective, dispassionate, and non-argumentative as possible, said that the judge is not reasonably perceived as a hostile witness or advocate. As we saw in Judge Glanville's recitation of why he was not recusing himself, he was, let's just say he was definitely a little hostile.
A little? And this guy was acting like a total nutcase. You saw it right at the beginning of the video.
In presenting this record as to the recusal issues and in ruling on Kendrick's motions, Judge Glanville, quote, evaluated and accepted the truth of his own factual allegations mandating his recusal. What that basically means in English, he played both witness, judge, and jury in deciding the veracity and the truthfulness of his own allegations. A judge cannot do that. That's what the Honorable Judge Rachel Krause, who was given this case to decide the recusal, ultimately decides. They continue by saying that this court has no doubt that Judge Glanville can and would continue presiding fairly over this matter if the recusal motions were denied, but, and going on to quote here, the necessity of preserving the public's confidence in the judicial system weighs in favor of excusing Judge Glanville from further handling of this case. And this is the decision. Based on the foregoing, this court hereby orders the following. 1, defendant DeMonte Kendrick's motion for recusal of the Chief Judge Urville is granted. 2, Caleb Bumpus' motion to quash the show cause order or for the recusal of Judge Glanville is denied as moot meaning that it's no longer an issue, and that the defendant Jeffrey Williams' motion to disqualify or recuse Judge Glanville for all further dealings in the above referenced case as amended and supplemented is granted. The court clerk shall reassign this case using the court's case assignment procedures. This is the order of the judge as of the 15th of July for the year of 2024. That is today. What that basically means is Judge Glanville is no longer the judge in the Young Thug RICO case for any of the defendants. It will go back to the court clerks to reassign this case.
Well, guys, there you have it. This corrupt judge basically took a massive L. This is how they do out there. Y'all know this is out there in Fulton County with corrupt DA, Cash Queen, Gorilla Grip, Fonnie Willis, right? Okay, the young and the restless Fonnie Willis turning ATL into a soap opera between Fonnie Willis, Nathan Wade, Terrence Bradley, Judge Ural Glanville. Like, all these folks is black, all corrupt as hell, all attorneys. I mean, guys, you got to do better, okay? We got to get some more attorneys in the community that don't think that the way to move is just to be corrupt bullies because you think that's what other people do. Like, there's ways to move and just be honest, be ethical, be moral. Okay, I can't speak for them throughout their life in every single case that they try, but at least in situations like these recent ones we've seen, they reek of desperation and immoral behavior. They reek of lies and bullying. That's why people like this don't deserve to win. Now, I can't speak for anything that Young Thug has or hasn't done. That's going to be up for a jury to decide. It's going to be a blackity black jury, so hopefully they'll be fair. I don't really know. He's black too, like the defendant, obviously. So, you know, they might just want to let him off because he's black. Maybe they won't. I really don't know. But at least we know one person who's corrupt is off the case. That's the judge. So at least all's well that ends well there, because even though I'm pretty sure this guy isn't necessarily a great guy, I do want to see him get a fair trial. So let me know what you guys think. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate y'all watching the Black Anomaly Rising channel. I'm out.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.